It's Sunday afternoon around 3 p.m. and I've basically spent the last 4 hours working on yesterday's video, day 556. We had a really great time watching the demonstration at the glass station where they created a penguin, and then going to the Lake Myra Christmas light show in Wendell, North Carolina. So we were in Farmville and Wendell. It was a pretty big trip day for us. About 200 miles just to go someplace sort of local and check out some stuff. So we, paid a little bit of attention to nav on autopilot and charging stuff and Teslafy, and I threw some of that stuff in there, but everything went as planned. Obviously we had enough range, we didn't have to stop at the Raleigh supercharger on the way back home, so that was fantastic. I had a really good time. Don had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Wish Johnny had been with us, but maybe next year. Included him in as much stuff as we possibly could this year. So, but as a consequence, I haven't done a whole lot yet today except sit on the couch and type, and it's gotten to be 3 p.m. I am headed to Whole Foods and Cary to pick up a standing rib roast, aka prime rib, for our Christmas dinner on Tuesday. First off, I love prime rib, and second off, it's really easy to cook and doesn't take a lot of effort. We do the cook it at a really high temperature for a short amount of time and then let it sit in the closed oven for several hours cooking method, and we've done that 4 or 5 times now and it's turned out great every time. So that's what I'm doing again, and I think the guys want the soulful sweet potatoes from the Pioneer Woman Ree Drummond as their side dish, so I can probably manage that for them too. I'm gonna throw a few pieces of video in today's video that are from yesterday's trip that are dash cam pieces. One is just how pretty it was when we were headed into downtown Raleigh. I just couldn't quite capture that with the iPhone, and it was hard to capture while we were moving and such low light, but I think the dash cam kind of gives you the view of the Raleigh skyline all lit up for Christmas. The BB&T building's green, and the PNC building is made to look like the top's lit up like a Christmas tree. And the Cree wall, C-R-E-E, the light people, the Cree wall is always pretty, done up in the festive colors, and Fayetteville Street is done up nice. It's gorgeous downtown at Christmas time. So I'll show you that little clip. And then on the way going into Wendell, we had nav on autopilot. We were on US Highway 264. Basically, we're heading west at that point, and we went to get off at the exit for the Lake Myra Christmas light show. This was after we were at the glass place and heading sort of in the back home direction. And as we exited the interstate, Ruby put on the turn signal because she was on nav on autopilot. She slowed down, she took the ramp, and then she stopped for the stop sign at the end of the ramp without Dawn doing anything. That was pretty amazing. I think if it's a stoplight, she doesn't know yet if it's green or yellow or red or what to do, so she just sort of throws over control. But in this case, since it was a stop sign, she seemed to come to a really graceful stop, albeit maybe 10 feet farther back from the stop sign than we would have liked, but it was pretty spot on. It was very encouraging as to, an state-to-state interstate trip being completed soon this year, 2019, next year, I guess, maybe. That was pretty sweet.
Gonna stop. He's gonna stop. He's gonna stop. I'm not doing this.
Wow. Holy, really? Ruby just stopped it for a stop sign at the end of the interstate, at the exit. Holy goodness. Then leaving Wendell, after after the light show, we were still on nav on autopilot. Don had plugged in home. He was in autopilot, because I guess you can turn it on, but then even if you're kicked out, it still shows blue as being activated. So as we approached our turn back onto 264, now Don knew, really did know, I did too, that Ruby wasn't going to handle that, but he wanted to see what she would do, so he did nothing. And she slowed up. There were 2 left turn lanes. There was even a dotted line to help you stay in your lane to make the left turn onto the on-ramp for 264. And she tried really hard, and then she swerved back and forth a few times and immediately, as an emergency, kind of turned it back over to Don, who, there was no other cars around us, and he was certainly ready to take control. I might would have liked it if he'd have took control just a minute or so sooner, a few seconds sooner. But anyway, so that was a fail, but you know, she's not supposed to be able to do that yet, but I don't think it would have took a whole lot more. I guess it must be problematic to decide if you can cross in front of traffic when there's, you know, kind of thing. But I think that intersection has a left or a green, you know, it was green. The car would have known that they should have had the right of way. I just don't know if it was we'll have to pay attention as I read it now. Was it a green arrow or just a green light? But anyway, we feel like we helped the neural net yesterday with provide some feedback on nav on autopilot.
Gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Come on, Ruby, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Oh, well, she's technically in a turn lane.
She's slowing down. This is not me. Now look.
Really?
This is not me. She's turning.
Oh my God, she's confused.
No.
Look, she's gonna put you, stop. Donnie. God, Donnie.
I wasn't gonna let her.
Well, it's very busy here. I figured I was gonna have a hard time finding a parking space I'd be okay with. I expected busy, and busy I got. You know, this has to keep everybody in a good mood. I got 3 wonderful ribs. Here's Miss Carlissa, my favorite Whole Foods cashier, and look at her festive hat today. You're all ready for this crowd, aren't you?
Much. I am ready.
You are. It was a warm 57 today, but now with the sun setting, it's starting to feel chilly out there pretty quick. Hey guys. Sorry, I'm home a few minutes later than I wanted to be, but Whole Foods was crowded.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny. Hey, buddy. Glad to see ya.
Glad to see you too.
Got good stuff back there. You'll be pleased. I got what I was supposed to get and a little bit more.